Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and welcome to Show and Tell number 208. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, fantastic day as always. So we've got a slightly different format today. I am going to start off in here talking about projects, WIPs, and things like that. Well, I have FOs sitting here. We'll get into some chitty chat. I'll share with you what's in my little tiny stack. I didn't even bring the bucket up here. And then we'll head over to the paper crafting room and I'll show you what I've really been working on for this week. So it's been a super crazy time. Like yesterday, the only me time I got was for my 1 hour to exercise. That was it. So it's been like that most of the last couple weeks. So it's been a little bit since I filmed videos. I did kind of pre-film a number of things. I have one more pre-filmed video coming up on Monday next week. So we're going to have a slightly different, instead of on Tuesday, which is normally my tertiary day to put up a video, we will have a video on Monday next week. I'm very excited about this video. I'm very excited about the project. So definitely come back on Monday and check that out. On Saturday, I believe we will have the unboxing for the first subscription box of 2024. See if I can get my years right. I haven't written enough checks yet this year to make sure I can remember that the year has changed. So anyway, 2024, we will be starting off with a new subscription box. It's supposed to be here today. I don't know that I'm going to have a chance to film it today. I am a little bit... schedule discombobulated today. I have prayer shawl tonight, so I've got to get everything ready to go for prayer shawl, but because it was storming on Tuesday, I did not get my errands run this week. So we did have a tornado go by the house. So if you're familiar with the big storm that came through, we did have a tornado go by the house. I spent an hour and a half in the closet with the cats because I felt really guilty locking them into the bathroom if I wasn't going to stay in there with them after the first one passed. And then I just was like, okay, there's one more pocket of bad weather coming towards us, so I'll just throw them in the closet and sit there with them. So I sat there crocheting and chit-chatting on Facebook while doing that. So anyway, it's been something else, but I have a whole bunch of returns I need to take in from Amazon. I have received a number of broken items recently, mostly delivered by UPS, which means I need to go to UPS to return them. And that's always fun. And I can't go tomorrow because one of the items that came broken was a giant, well, it's not giant, but it's a heavy duty file cabinet that somehow is broken in half, straight down the middle. So that happened. Anyway, so I've got to go do all that. I need to run by the grocery store. They're supposed to come pick that up tomorrow between 8 and 2, which is normally when I would run my errands. So I'm going to try to get all my errands run this morning, come home, probably eat a quick snack, work out, take a shower. Maybe by then the subscription box will be here and I can slap on some makeup and film about that. But yeah, it's a little bit crazy. I am literally wearing my workout clothes to film this video. I tried to jazz it up a little bit to make me look a little not so, you can do better. But yeah, so it's just my schedule got knocked sideways today, and it's okay. It is what it is. It's not a big deal. It just is silly. So anyway, I have my super secret special project we'll talk about on Monday that I did go ahead and cast on, and I am super excited about it. And one of the things I plan on doing is taking my goal list of projects from last year and moving them to this year. I just need to reprint the little list and put it in my journal. But this will meet one of those requirements, so I'm extra excited about that. So we've got the super secret project I've literally worked just a little bit on to get it cast on, get it started, and kind of like figure out what I'm doing. Then I have not touched my Christmas stocking at all. It's still stuck on day 12. I knew this was going to happen if I started late, and here we are. This is exactly what's happened. But I haven't had like time to just on things. I've been working in these pockets of time, and it's incredibly frustrating. So anyway, that has been going on. I've been working on my squares and stuff, which we'll talk about here in a second. And that's really it. I haven't touched anything else except for what I'll share with you guys in the paper room, which does make me feel a little bit better about, like, I haven't gotten knitting and crocheting done. But I do need to go over to the frog and get the Addy and everything set up on my work table. That way I'll be able to just kind of slide in there and make a couple hats and scarves. My mom's neighbor wants a hat now, so I will have to send one of those up to Ohio for her. Her neighbor's really, really sweet. I met her while I was up there last fall, so I don't mind making hats and things for people who are gracious when they receive them. Anywho, because I know that section of the video is 14 minutes long, I want to try to be a little bit more. We know how good I am at that. So, last show and tell, I shared with you guys where I made the Avenue scarf by House of Galt. I had 20 grams left over in the Hobie Manaya ball that I used. So I made a little ear warmer to match it. And this is just using garter stitch. I did do the same I-cord edge that is in that pattern. That way it does fully match. It did not really affect the stretch too much. So success. I'm very happy with that. And it's got a nice finished edge. I do love how that turns out. It's absolutely beautiful. And if you do stripes with it, I did do a project when I was reviewing the Alpaca Direct subscription box. The triangular cowl that was part of that subscription box, the edge on that is also an I-cord edge, and the stripes color change is actually hidden in the I-cord. So once again, if you're wanting to do something like that that gives you a better finished edge, definitely consider doing the I-cord edge, because it does just give you the beautiful. And it gives you a place to kind of hide when you weave in your ends there. If you run it up the side. Just saying. Just trying to offer a helpful tip. So I did finish one of my double DK squares for my bed blanket. I was really hoping to have it done by now, but December was a bust. So, well, when it comes to like crafting, December was a bust because I had to finish the cards, and that's where all my time went. So anyway, this is a 14 row corner to corner square using 2 DK weight yarns held double. And this is using a size J crochet hook. Up next, we have 2 granny squares. I am on my last ball of yarn. My very last ball of yarn in that tote that I shared with you guys back in like October. I'm on my last ball of yarn out of that. So I am now caught back up on all of my open skeins of worsted weight yarn. Because when I unpacked this, I found a whole bunch of open skeins. So we're now caught back up on this. So I have 1 granny square, 10 round granny using a size I hook. And once again, 10 round granny using a size I crochet hook. These are just using open skeins, partial skeins. I did, for the grannies, either want them to be solid or 8 rows in one and then a solid 2 round border. So if I have variegateds that have gone into this project, this center section can be variegated, but I did want solids across the, across the edge. And then lastly in this group of things, I finished 1 corner to corner square. Once again, 10 row corner to corner using a size I crochet hook. So once I can no longer make the granny squares to my specifications, I start putting them into this project. So what I started doing with this is if I cannot complete the row, I cut the yarn and end the color there. That tiny ball then goes into the 1 round granny project. So I do have a stack of 1 round grannies in my floral bag that I will start adding into the 1 round granny project, which I still am wondering, why did I decide to do this to myself? But I'm sure I'll be able to do like a really cute, like, I'm thinking about making it into like a little, just cover to go over the back of my chair in here, and put little like ties on the side so I can just tie it to whatever chair I use in this room. Right now I have a very old desk chair in here that kind of probably needs to be replaced, but I do have a little butt pillow to add some cushion. I won't use this chair very often in this room. I have it in here so this year I can film tutorials at a desk in my craft room, so I don't have to use my kitchen table anymore. So that's that. So when I was tidying in here the other day, I did pull together all of the granny squares I did since we got unpacked into the house. So I have these. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and today's adds 2 more, so that's 19 greeny squares since we got unpacked into the house. I do still have some ends to weave in, and I think I may have 2 or 3 downstairs still that I still haven't woven in the ends on that probably just need to be drug up here and stuck in their bin. I think I'm going to do what I did last year, and just as my bin gets full, I will start making blankets again at the end of the year over the summer. These were actually really easy to put together during the summer because the blankets are so light compared to like some of the other blankets I've been working on. And then for my corner to corners, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So I'm going to scrounge around in the closet. Y'all saw what a nightmare that is to get to things. I'm going to find the bin or the bag that I'm storing those in. I will put those up, and that way they're off my desk, out of sight, out of mind. I am tonight going to take that bag with me, finish the last couple corner to corner squares I have, and then I will be done until I start cranking out hats, because a lot of this kicked off last year. I made a ton of these squares from my leftovers making the hats and scarves on the Addy. And as my goal is to have 50 donation sets this year, I got a lot of knitting on the knitting machine to do. I also have a couple projects that I want to hand knit and crochet. So also, if a new yarn comes out on the market that is a superwash acrylic kind of thing that I think would be good for donation, once again, I do prefer knitting and crocheting things for donations out of the items that I am test running. So anyway, these will go downstairs with me. This will go to the scarf. This goes into the project bag for my bedspread project. And that's all I have as far as yarny projects. So we still have I got almost 13 minutes here. So we already have a 27-minute video with the other clip. So anyway, let's go over to the paper crafting area, and I will share with you guys what I have been working on there. Well, welcome to the paper studio. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot in here. And let's see if we can easily go through all this. So what I started off with was a paper pack from Echo Park. It's this Just Be You paper pack by Echo Park. And I really wanted to try the May Made It legal pad folio tutorial. I will leave that linked in the description box down below. So I actually made 3. This is the first one that I made, and this cardstock that I used as the base is a little too stiff. It's 110-pound cardstock, but it's a very fibrous cardstock. But it did work. It's just the magnet pulls a little tight. But here we are. We have a little pocket. You can take the legal pad in and out to replace it. And it's just a cute little... I haven't decorated anything. I haven't finished doing any type of design work or decorations or anything like that. I did use a combination of my score tapes and scrapbook.com double-sided super strong adhesive and wet adhesive. So there are magnets holding the flap down on this one, but because the cardstock is so stiff, it just, I think with use, this will become a little bit more pliant. But that was the first one I did. So the next one I did was this one. And this is using a 65-pound cardstock that also feels a little on the heavy side, but I think this is just a little too floppy. This one also has a magnetic closure. And here we are. We have our little side pocket over here. Got our legal pad in there. I have not, once again, decorated the outside, but this one I did pick a cut apart for, and I'll put it in sideways like that. And once again, using the same. I had a lot of errors in cutting my decorator paper. So we ended up I could have made 4 from the paper pack if I had not made so many mistakes while cutting my paper. But that was a Carrie Breen issue. And then this one, I have not stuck a notebook in this one because I forgot to put magnets in, and I did not want to do an insertion on this because I knew it was going to take me forever to want to do it, and I can't find my little palette thing. So I'm going to do Velcro closure on this one. And this is actually probably my favorite one. So this is using the Nina 110-pound cardstock. This is what I make most of my card bases out of, and this is definitely my favorite structure. But here we have our little pocket over here. This is our pocket for the notebook to go into. That's how it slides in and out. I do think this needs to be trimmed back just a shade from what the directions Mamie says. But that's just for my personal preference. And I really love how the paper, the paper choices I made for this one turned out. So I will probably keep this one for myself. I think I'm going to gift those to friends. Just, I was testing something. And then I'm going to put this cut apart on this one. Just because I really like the way it looks. It's very matchy-matchy. It's a little too matchy-matchy for me normally, but I do like it. But definitely going to use more of the Nina 110-pound for this. So that's the project that kicked this off. So I had a whole bunch of scraps. Like I said, I cut a bunch of that wrong. I made stupid errors. So I ended up with a ton of scraps that weren't enough to make a 4th legal pad holder. So I did come in. The first group I trimmed down, I had some cut aparts here, and you can see what I mean. Like, this is a very fibrous cardstock. I really like it for cards. It makes great card bases, but it's definitely super, super stiff. So I have some cut aparts. I cut some 4 1/4 by 5 1/4 A2 size card bases. I cut some 6 3/4 by 4 3/4 for some A7s. Which is a little bit, normally I'd do 1/4 of an inch smaller than an A7. An A7 card is 5 by 7. Normally I would trim these to, 4 3/4 instead of 4 I did these 1/8. So this will kind of cover the entire top, more or less. So 4 7/8, not 4 3/4. 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. I also had some larger cut aparts. This one I trimmed down substantially, but I've already picked a cut apart to go on this card base. I liked this cut apart on this card base, obviously. Once again, a little matchy-matchy, but I really like it. And you can see, actually, if you look closely on the edge of this one where I had tried to score it, it was going to be a pocket for the legal pad, and I messed it up. Then I've also got cut aparts that I have chosen for some of the A2 size card bases. So these will be kind of like basic note card style cards. So those are the big scraps that I had. Then I had a ton of giblet scraps. I had a couple of hunks that were 3 3/4 or right at 4 inches wide, which I could have probably done some larger cards and I ended up with so many, but I did decide to tuck into my printouts of the Call Me Crafty Owl sheet load of cards that I've done over the years. So I'm going to do a quick, these aren't done, but I have the pieces together and I'm going to try to show you what the final card image sketch would look like. If you subscribe to Call Me Crafty Al and check in with her weekly or monthly, you can get the sheet loads for free. This is something she offers for free. She also does videos on how to put these together. So if you're, like I said, she's one of my favorite go-to card sketches just because I like her format and it makes it very easy for me. So this is from February of 2022. I do have some floral die cuts and stuff that I will be able to use with this. And obviously I'm going to have to like cover this up, but I do have the sentiment strip cut so I can stamp it, so that I'm going to put the ephemera piece over here so that'll cover up any of those gaps. But this is what the finished card is supposed to look like. And this is that center base piece that will then get affixed onto my A2 size card. So we have a couple of these. I think I'm going to end up with like 33 cards in the end based on what I have right now. So the next one, I've gotten a lot further on this one. Instead of doing this one, portrait, I'm going to do it landscape. But this is March 2022. So we'll have a strip that goes down here that breaks up the pattern, or I may just put a big die cut there. I did go ahead and put an insert in that just because I had already cut down the cardstock. So we have 2 of these that use some of those larger bits. Up next, we have April 2023's sheet load of card sketch. And that's what the finished card is supposed to look like. I did put my scrap cardstock in my stack here. This is how I do this. So you can see where I have one that's cut up into pieces here. This is all the pieces to make October 2022's card sketch. As I cut the pieces, I will stack them on top of the sheet load printout. And then I'll just have a stack of these that I start to put together on like the base piece. And then I just kind of assembly line cut. I'll cut all of them, have all my little bits cut. Then I come back through and I get things to, you know, like this stage at least, where it's on, the pieces are put onto their backer. In this case, I did go ahead and stick it on a card just because I had the card sitting here from Christmas. But I'll stack them up like this until I have all the decorating and pieces put together. And then I'll end up with a stack that need like washi tape, inserts, greetings, things like that done. And then I just kind of sit down and do all of that together. So we've got 4 of these. This was just so easy to get together that I went ahead and stuck them on card bases. Then next we have March 2023. And that's what this one will look like. So we have these going together. I almost never use this taupey gray color cardstock. So I was really glad to use it because I actually really like this color. It just doesn't coordinate with a ton of stuff. I actually did a series of yellow and gray cards many moons ago, and that was the only other time I used it, but it's the perfect gray. It's just a recollections bit. It's the perfect gray to go with pinks and yellows, so it worked perfectly with this paper pad as we have this great mustard yellow in here, which I almost never use. So up next, we have July 2023 sketch. That's what the finished card looks like. I did go ahead and do my sentiment bits just because I had the scraps cut and I didn't want to lose those. And I did go ahead and adhere these directly onto the card base. So these will look, you know, something like that. Actually, I think I like probably that one with that to bring out more of that mustard color. Excuse me. But we have some portrait, some landscape, just because the direction of the paper, that's how it landed. This one could go either way. And then this one can go either way, depending on what I feel like doing. And then we've got, you know, 4 different options as far as the sentiment card, or 3 different options as far as the sentiment card goes. Up next, we have December 2023's card sketch. So I had a bunch of leftover cardstock from this one that if I need it to go with the card, I can do that. I have the 3 bars already mounted and ready to go. And then we've got our cards. So these will go here. And I'll put a sentiment bit there. And then lastly, we have November 2022. Now these are no more than just mounted. I still need to, because this is a specialty base. So this is a normal piece that's been cut off. And normally I would have used the scraps from this cutoff section to build this card. But I had in my white scrap bin white. So I went ahead and just mounted these on some of the scrap bits. And I'll pick a really pretty cardstock to go in the background there. But these are the T-piece here. And then we have the piece that will go on the card. So we've got that one. We've got that one. And we've got that one. So that's what those cards will end up, well, this will tuck behind here. So that's what those cards will end up looking like. So yeah, I did a lot in the paper crafting area. I still have my entire sticker sheet to decorate the cards and my legal pad covers with. This is a way longer format for me sharing these things, but I thought this might be a little bit easier as everything's still in pieces. So anyway, let's head back to the yarn room and wrap this video up. All right, you guys, so that is all I have for you this week. It ended up being a lot to share, and I feel like I didn't do anything because my bucket was empty, and I'm looking at my bucket going, there's nothing in here. But truthfully, I did have time this week and pockets of time to work on those projects. So that is kind of a big deal because that, like I said, that'll be like 30 cards plus 3 journal covers. That's pretty good for me, to be honest, with how little time I feel like I've had the last couple weeks. So anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have had a wonderful, fantastic day. I look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday. Please take care. I love you, and I will see you guys real soon. Bye, guys.